James, you've of course been taking the temperature for us there in the Iranian capital. And we're hearing a lot about voter apathy, I suppose. What have people actually at the polling booths been telling you today?
Well, what I can tell you for starters is that we visited 4 polling stations today with the France 24 crew, and we did not see any long lines. We didn't see much, excitement around this election, except maybe for one of those polling stations, which is, usually a place where people come for the show because there are a lot of TV cameras, people dress their kids up. So that's something quite specific. But in the other polling stations, what we saw was pretty much, small groups of people, no real lines forming. So yes, voter apathy is quite close to what you are describing. Now, when it comes to what people actually had to say, most of the voters we talked to were conservatives. What they were telling us is that most of them said, or at least hinted at the fact that they were backing Ebrahim Raisi, and they were saying we need a strong leader, we need a strong president, we need someone who will stand up to foreign powers, especially the West, someone who will help the people. And what they say is that, they hope that Ebrahim Raisi can indeed fix the economy. They say, some of them were saying, that he will stop the focus being to the outside to bring the focus back in to Iran. Now, Ebrahim Raisi, of course, is this hardline candidate who is indeed the favorite in this race. We also met some voters who are supporting Abdel Nasser Hemati. Now, he is this moderate candidate who is closer to the reformists, though he's not been endorsed by the reformist party. A lot of experts say he has very little chances of actually winning. So one of these people who had come to vote for him we spoke to said, well, look, it's important to take part in the Republic, and it's important to express ourselves, and it's important because if we get 7 to 8 million votes, well, that would be a good performance, and that means, the Reformist Party is still there and still active, and that shows that our decision does make sense. So this is very much what we've been hearing in the polling stations.
So, James, as you say, there are no long lines particularly to speak of, perhaps not the enthusiasm that, officials in the country might want to see around the election remains to be seen. In terms of actual figures, though, for the turnout, have you got the latest on that?
Now, the latest official figure is by the Interior Ministry, and it was released at 1 p.m. It was the turnout at 1 p.m., so that was the people who came to vote between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. today, and that figure is pretty low at 5 million voters. That means roughly 8.4% of the people who were allowed to vote, which is 49 million. Now, a bit later on in the day, the FARS news agency, which is close to the government and usually a very reliable source, said that 14 million people had voted at 4:45 local time here in Iran, and that meant 23%. Now, we're waiting for new official figures. The Ministry of Interior stated in a communique, please do not take into account any other figures than the official ones that we are releasing. So that also does say something. And then there is the council, the council that indeed released a statement through their spokesperson, who said, and I quote, for now the results, the turnout is good and it will get better later on.
All right, worth mentioning that in an hour and a half, polls, I would imagine, are expected to close, but they could be extended, you say, James, a little bit later. Well, remains to be seen. We'll keep an eye on that. From Tehran, though, for now, James, thank you very much.